Alright, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for being here. I know a lot of you are running into your first round of exams, so grateful that all of you are here. And yeah, we're gonna have a bit longer meeting today. The university committee is going to do confirmation today. So that's gonna look for different overall. Yes. We're now gonna move into an open roll call letter for the test. When I call your names, you say, SPB Mallory, SPB not Justice Rayfield.
Howdy.
Speaker Justino. Howdy. Speaker Tucker. Rosenborg Tucker. Chair Chair Wright. Chair King.
Howdy.
Chair Williams.
Howdy.
Chair Chu.
Howdy.
Chair Patel.
Howdy.
Chair Hurt.
Howdy.
Senator Vaughn. Senator Mario. Senator Owen.
Howdy.
Senator Allen. Howdy. Senator Jackson. Howdy. Senator Royal. Senator Attaway. Howdy. Senator Dealey.
Howdy.
Senator Richards. Senator Schmidt. Senator Williams. Austin Williams. Senator Yost.
Howdy.
Senator Collins. Senator Chesler. Senator Babanco. Senator Lamons. Howdy. Senator Smith.
Howdy.
Senator Westlake. Howdy. Senator Ben Williams. Senator Tyler Long.
Howdy.
Senator Adamek. Senator Barber. Senator Becker. Senator Brown.
Howdy.
Senator Clark.
Howdy.
Senator Fleener. Howdy. Senator Flores. Howdy. Senator Garcia. Senator Glazer. Senator Glover.
Howdy.
Senator Hall.
Howdy.
Senator Hicks.
Howdy.
Senator Honey. Senator Kaiser.
Howdy.
Senator Murray.
Howdy.
Senator Bessick.
Howdy.
Senator Poe. Senator Alvarez. Senator Burnside. Senator Hughes. Senator Watson. Senator Willis. Senator Sanders. Senator Hargrove.
Howdy.
Senator Maynard. Senator Roberts. Senator Nathan Williams. Senator Bissoni.
Howdy.
Senator Bradley.
Howdy.
Senator Cho. Senator Dow. Senator Medvedev.
Here. Howdy.
Senator Sheff. Senator Wells.
Howdy.
Senator Wu. Senator Sanchez. Senator Sloan. Senator Steele.
Howdy.
Senator Stites. Senator Teets.
Howdy.
Senator Vanderheiden.
Howdy.
Senator Wilkins. All right, with that, we will now move into the indication and fund to allegiance led by Luke Johnson on behalf of the
Lord, I thank you for today. Thank you for the opportunity to gather here. I pray that everything we do will just bring glory and honor to you. Amen. I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Comments for reading of mission statement and honor led by our longest serving senator here.
The Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, and advocacy in accordance with the core values of our institution. And Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do.
With that, we'll now move into a period of public support. Pro Tem Tucker, State House, and Forum. Seeing none. With that, we will now move into the approval of the September 3rd meeting minutes. We will attempt to see a consent. Do I see any objection to the approval of the minutes? Seeing none, these minutes to pass. All right, we are now going to move into the university public confirmations. Go to September. Going to be a lot of people. Stand at ease.
I know. Find it out. What? It's just out of the ball. If you can check it. Yeah, it's like, we're like, oh, I thought it was already here, everybody. I thought it was already. There's no way around it. Alright, so you're gonna get an email from us. It is. I'll quit lying, give something. Alright, let's go. It's the last thing. Sit back. Just sit down. I only drink the Bible. Oh, you guys can do it for me. Okay, no matter. I just. Of course you email. Of course, it will be. It's greatly worded, congratulatory. It will be okay. Yeah.
University.
All right. First committee, Kate Bunny. Hi, everyone. My name is Kate Bunny. I'm the Vice President of University Committees, and I'm so excited today. We have a big group that is filling the committee, so it's so exciting. They went through a process, an application process, where they had to fill out why they wanted to be on a committee and what qualified them, and then we read through the different applications and filled it out to place them in different committees. And the committees range from like athletic committee to scholarship to academic appeals. So there's many various ones. So there's a lot of unique people that are involved all over campus. So I'm excited that they get to come together. And so I'm excited for them to get just confirmed. So thank y'all. All right. With that, we all move in this way.
Like how many clowns?
Y'all just feel like-
It's great.
Okay, I feel kind of.
That's even out.
Yeah, you would have run both. The only problem is if someone asks a question, they all have to answer.
With that, we're now going to move into a 5-minute period question and answer. If you ask them a question, they all have to answer. Do I see any questions for our nominee? Seeing none. With that, Pro Tem Tucker's gonna take them outside. Move into 8 now, once they're all out of the room. Okay. Thank you all for being patient with that. With that, we will now move into a period of debate. We will start with debate against the nominee. So if he debate against the nominee. Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate for the nominees. Do I see any debate? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against the nominees. Do I see any debate against the nominees? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for the nominees. Do I see any debate for the nominees? Seeing none, is the opinion of the chair that debate has been decided, and we will now move into a period of voting. We will do this by a standing vote led by Pro Tem Tucker. All those in favor of confirming the nominees, please rise as ready.
So another clarification, are we doing the confirmations for those in person and not in
Yes,
person?
oh, yes, sorry. This is for people that are in person, and then I'm giving you a list of people that are not. It's just in person. And you're in. You can try over the name. All those opposed? I a vote of 44-0. These people are confirmed to versus committees. Waiting on the list of wasn't come. So it's free stand at ease.
What I the deputy. So. I won't, yeah, it's that. Legal, yeah. Okay. Volunteers. Kathy's gonna come. Oh, like it takes 10 minutes, like. Yeah. Like. Yeah. Well, that's what. You get a school diverse. Nice. Lazy. Yeah, I was in Tuesday, it was like, we got lost, and I was like, she told us, like, do not be late, and also, I don't send reminders. So you miss later.
I have to leave really too.
So, people wanna call her back, hey, we're on today.
I told her, I like that. It's really to be straight for an exam.
Why He's gonna share some with you. It doesn't. It's easier. Yeah, the best. Wait.
I'm doing it right now. Tomorrow, like, all in the morning. Huh? The lady. I just called Kathy. What's wrong? Like, what? I don't know. Kathy at the shoulder registration. Yeah, shoulder registration. Yo, Kathy. I didn't switch over my. Yeah, like if you're not switch, you can do it. I can speak.
Now, I'm going to read the names of people that are nominated that weren't here, then we're gonna vote on them separately. That makes sense. Also, there was Joy Fritz, Nolan, Chloe Rose, Lexi Alexia, Isha, Logan Thomas, Ellie Gillespie, Catherine Zhao, Lane Halford, Melissa Wimberly, Robert Blackburn, Leah Whipple, Lefty, Germanitis, Wilhelm Reichmeyer, and Cindy King. So now we're voting on that. And all those in favor of confirming those people, please rise to your
University committee.
those opposed? Right. By a vote of 45, 0, to vote confirm. Wait. Yeah. Thanks for your patience.
Oh.
Yeah.
You will now be sworn in by Chief Justice Rachel.
Please raise your right hand. I state your name, do solemnly swear to faithfully execute to the best of my ability the duties of the office of state your office for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association. To uphold the honor of the same. At all times to protect the welfare of the student body. And to promote good relations between the students. And those concerned with the university. So help me God. Congratulations.
I'm retired.
Do I see any objections to the passage of the agenda? See none, these pieces to pass. We will now move into old business, beginning with the second reading of 7801, the first Fertile Omnibus Act. Will the author please come?
The county senate.
Oh,
This has to R and R. I don't think anything changed with it. It's just like a couple small fixes for internal processes. I say open for questions.
With that, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of questions and answer. Do I see any questions or? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we'll now move into the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Being none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has to be one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on these piece. We will do this via a standing vote led by President Tucker. All those in favor of the passage of SA 7801, the first Fertile Omnibus Act, please rise as you wish.
that's.
All those opposed? By a vote of 48-0, this piece does pass. Now into the consideration of the SA 7802, the Friendly Act. Will offer please come to the floor for the second reading. You have 10 minutes beginning now.
Howdy, I'm Chair Gordon Rules and Regs.
Howdy, Jackson Steele here.
Howdy.
Okay, so this came to the Rules and Regs Committee. It's easy to show your use around. So this is just something that whenever we change something in Rules and Regs, we'll put it in purple. So we changed in committee the text of where during the period of debate, you'd ask it to the period of question and answer. Because the committee felt as if we're doing it right at the end of debate, then someone could just sneak it in, and have not give the Senate enough time. They could completely change the context of the bill right at the end. So we did this just to safeguard, and we can kind of, help ensure that the mistakes are fixed during question and answering. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and just as background, that's how it was whenever we previously had friendly amendments. It was originally during period of question and answer. I made it debate just because when you're doing motions, usually it's during debate, but not very particular on this. And I think the reasoning for the change is quite fine. But I guess we're good. Questions?
Yeah, we're now open for questions.
With that, the authors are now open for 5 questions and answers. Do I see the questions? Authors.
Tanner, Owen, Fellow Dragon Life Sciences, were friendly amendments ever actually allowed by the student senate, or did we illegally use them?
So, yes, that was a big, well, not a big, but it was something we kind of found out last session was we have been using friendly amendments for years and years. And then,
Senator Herbert called clarification people as well, okay? And then it's about uses.
it was used, okay, well, I'm not gonna debate that. It was used in 77th at least. It was used in 77th at least, and then we realized it wasn't actually. But friendly amendments were, in my opinion, a very, very useful thing.
during the 77th session. So, thought it would be a good idea to have.
Do I see any questions? Senators? Seeing none, thank you for their time. That will now move into debate on this piece, beginning with the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for those? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece?
Senator Hargrove, College of Education and Human Development. I would like to urge you not to vote for this act just because it does circumvent the entire amendment process. Lack of transparency can be used when doing these amendments. We did not use this previously in the 75th and 76th session. We did not have big issues. And unfortunately, it is not a parliamentary procedure in the regular Robert's Rules of Orders. So I do urge you, if you want to keep this Senate as true as possible, please vote this act in. Thank you. I yield my time to Senator Lewis.
1 minute, no, 2 minutes, that's fine.
Senator Owen, College of Ag and Life Sciences, as Senator Hargrove said, this pretty much circumvents the entire parliamentary procedure process. And in a country where debate is sometimes limited, we have to remind ourselves that we want to encourage debate, encourage discussion, encourage people to have debate with one another. And that's why I do not think this friendly amendment should pass, because essentially it's allowing one person put in something, stick it in. Whether it's in the question or answer period or not, I think we should stick with parliamentary procedures, fail this bill, and let's continue debate in the student senate. I give my time to Senator Wells.
Gosh, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Thank you.
Hi, I also urge you to vote against this bill, primarily just because, kind of was mentioned earlier about the speed of this bill. When you make a bill and write it, you should be thinking a lot about what goes into the bill as the contents. The fact that you can just insert a bill and a very short period of questioning means that whatever would likely be inserted as an amendment would not be very thought. If it's something important enough to be amended to the bill, it would be thoughtful enough and then put it through the normal amendment process. So if we just remove that quality of the bill and the quality of those amendments, the result of that would just be worse at the end of it. And I yield my time to the floor.
Being that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move to the third round of debate for this piece. I see Chair Williams. We'll have 2.5 minutes to make it.
Hi, Senate.
Howdy.
Hey. Senator Williams, Community Relations, College of Ag and Life Sciences. Y'all probably already know, I am a, how do you say, Nazi when it comes to Parley Pro. I know the rule like the back of my hand, and while yes, this is not typical Parley Pro, a lot of things in our code already don't follow correct Parley Pro, but because it is in our code, it is, we still do it. I do believe that there is a lot of misconception with this act. I think a friendly amendment is great because frankly, the author can decline it. And if the person really still wants to amend it, they can make the motion to amend it and it will go through the whole process. So, I mean, I don't see the point in failing this. With that, I yield my time to Senator Spielman.
Seeing that Senator still has yielded to, you'll have 1 minute, 43 seconds to finish now.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I'm still on campus, so I just want to quickly, tell any thoughts that this will destroy our democracy. Fact of the matter is, friendly amendments were around for the entirety of the 77th and debatedly maybe a little bit of the 76th. And, I don't know if you noticed, but since the 77th, our Senate is in fact still around. And we can in fact still pass legislation. So there's not really, I don't really see the harm in having friendly amendments. It's something that's been around for a while. It's just kind of making it more official. The way I use my time to Senator Ramalho.
Being that Senator Bavongo has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute, 4 seconds to finish your comment. Howdy, I'm Senator Ronco from the School Caucus. For starters, the SBA code does a ton of stuff that's already circumventing Robert's Rules of Order. As someone who also knows a ton about Robert's Rules of Order, the SBA code does supersede that, and in many things you do are unorthodox. If you are a big Harley Pro fan, which I personally am, but I do understand that. And also, because it author's intent is explicitly written into the bill, and the fact that this has been used before and again hasn't caused any major issues. I don't see any reason why we should be able to do this, as amendments can take time. And if the authors do agree with something in the moment, obviously. I don't think there should be a reason why we couldn't just let it slide. I yield my time to Brennan Hurt, Senator Hurt.
Sure.
You guys, Jennifer has been yielded to. You have 43 seconds beginning at howdy.
Howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Chair Hurt, LR. We already just wrote the code for Harley Pro when it comes to Robert's rules. We don't have to say howdy when it comes to that, so it doesn't happen. I want to be I want to be efficient. As someone who's been in here for a long, long time, our democracy needs to listen. That
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the third round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece?
See none.
Seeing none, we'll move into the final round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Being none, debate has concluded, and we will now move into a period of voting on this piece. All those in favor of passing SA 7802, the Friendly Act, please rise as you are. All those opposed? By a vote of 46-3, this piece does pass. We will now move into the consideration of SA 7803, the Student Wellbeing Act. Will the author please come to the floor? You'll have 10 minutes beginning at howdy.
Howdy, Senate, Chair Horton, Rules and Regs. So we reviewed this bill immensely from the Rules and Regulations Committee. And the first thing I'd like to preface is that through some great discussions we had in and outside the committee, we begin to reevaluate what this new committee would be like that would replace the current D&I committee. And so the committee came to the idea, if you scroll down, of a traditions and culture. A committee that focuses on the culture thing, the traditions, the student well-being, the overall life, the inclusion of all of us in one big Aggie family while still remembering the distinct stories that we all come from. And I really like this. Chair Hurt was the one who brought it up to me. And I like this so much more than the former well-being, because I really think this just speaks to who we are as Aggies and really helps perform a lot more and really get the for certain things. So if you keep scrolling down, beyond just the name changes, what you see is that this committee will handle culture, community, student experience, and university traditions as well. They will also work alongside the vice president of divisions, alongside the student wellbeing VP. That will be their counterpart and exec currently in this bill, maybe an amendment to that. As well, if you keep going down, we see where we have a description of what the committee could do. And, you know, it's focused on issues related to culture, community, student experience, university traditions. And this is, including, but is not limited to legislation relating to cultural events and recognition, silver caps, muster, and other university traditions. That is pretty much the changes to this bill, aside from also listing VP of Traditions Trey Bass on here and adding 2 more sponsors. With that, I'm now open to period of question.
With that, our speaker is open to a period of questions. I see Chair Hurd.
Chair LR, how do you feel about us just renaming the act? Sure.
Yeah, so maybe someone else could speak on this, but I don't know if we can actually change the name of the act since it's already been read. It would be a new act. Yeah, that was something I was thinking about doing in committee. And I don't think you can do that. If someone else has more knowledge, I'd love to hear that as a.
Point of personal privilege, Senator Hargrove, College of Education and Development, I know in the past that we have actions.
Then I'd love to see an amendment change. Thank you, Chair.
Senator Wells.
Senator Wells, engineering, in that last bit, block of change, it explicitly mentioned that this part of this committee's role is going to be passing, legislation related to, like culture and stuff, like the cultural and stuff like that. How is that you're giving them the diversity included in committee currently?
I think it more accurately represents what the committee did in verbiage.
Senator Vivanco.
Senator Vivanco, Bush School. Do all the roles and resources that are currently under the DNI committee, would they still apply to this new committee?
I believe under the way we have it structured, we have it where much of what they have, with the exception of what we talked about with giving the EDO deciding who does the invocation, just because if we're adding all this to the traditions and culture committee chair, it's a lot of stuff. We don't want to overload them. That's just the idea I had. It goes a lot with what the EDO already does. But I think with all like the policy and legislation stuff, I think this is broad enough and so that, well, including other.
Senator Adamick.
Senator Adamick, off-campus caucus, permission to preface briefly.
Yes.
A lot of what you talked about a week ago was regarding like student well-being, mental health wise. In your opinion, how do you think now kind of not transitioning, but expanding this to include traditions will allow us to still work on that as well?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things for me that has helped better me has been being in community. And the tradition that me and them are one of the biggest unifiers that brings us all together as an ag committee. I think with specific well-being issues, this committee is still within the text of the scope to tackle that. But I believe also that student services can tackle the more administrative side of that. And CA can do that as well. And if that's something we're looking further defining the code, where we're more explicit about that for other things and their roles within it, I think that'd be awesome. But in my opinion, this still does include student well-being and improve the overall quality of life.
Senator Medvedev.
Senator, College of Engineering, the last time I had first preface. The last time I asked you about this act, you mentioned that there was a lot of stigma associated with my committee. Do you think that this time that this will be changed, and we're still keeping the spirit of the DNI committee did, and this time since the name is changed with SB 17, SB 37 specifically doing this than DNI, will this committee have an easier time accessing resources? So there's not a lot of stigma associated, so like outside of student government, never need resources.
I think hypothetically it would. I have never been in the position where I've been the DNI committee chair and had to reach out to admin or other people and ask for support. But just given with what I believe as Cole Horton, I think it would make it easier for this chairperson to go ask those resources and those support if it didn't have that bad language associated.
Do I see any other questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. With that, we'll now move into the first round of debate for this piece. I see Senator Harper.
Senator Hargrove, College of Education and Development.
I move to amend this resolution, or excuse me, this act. If you can scroll to the top, video. I move to strike the student well-being in the title to add traditions and culture.
Second.
And, oh, hold on. And to strike promote student well-being and replace with promote traditions and culture. And also, if you will scroll down to enactment one.
Point of personal privilege, I really don't want to force that. You can only amend like one part of the act at a time, so I think we have to do separate amendments.
Which personal or parliamentary inquiry does the title and the description count the same?
Okay. Yes.
Then that would be that.
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been moved and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require a 2/3 majority vote. We will start with the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to distribute general consent. Do I see any objections to the amendment? Seeing none, this motion does pass. We're still in the first round.
Chair,
Sure.
I want to make another motion to amend. Oh, going to, can you go to page 8, please? And it should be on subsection 10, the very last section. It talks about yes, vice president traditions. If we could just do pull a comma tradition, vice president traditions, comma representation.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require a 2/3 majority vote. We will begin with debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this motion? Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, and we will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the amendment? Seeing none, this amendment does pass.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
Take a
So the
motion.
Park Road College of Education Community Development, I move to amend on page 8. Section 10. Where it says culture communities, I would like to insert equity and accessibility.
Second.
Culture, right there, yeah,
Yes.
right there, equity, comma, accessibility.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require 2/3 majority vote. We will begin with the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I see Chair Horton.
Madam Speaker, Chair Horton, I move to amend this amendment to strike equity from it, but keep accessibility.
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require a 2/3 majority vote. We will now move into the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I see Chair Horton.
Chair Horton, Rules and Regs. I think if we are to talk about, kind of what we talked about, Chair Hurt and I talked about this, other people talked about this, is that we are trying to stay away from the words diversity, equity, and inclusion. While still, keeping the parts that serve students so well. And I think if we're to still hold equity in, I think accessibility is great. But I also think that is something that speaks to us. I don't know if any of y'all saw Chair Chu's message but him and Senator Willis are starting the accessibility subcommittee. And so, in my opinion, if you want this amendment to pass, I would suggest we only include accessibility. I believe that is something that's already being tackled by student services. And with that, I yield to facility.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the first round debate against this motion. I see Senator Wells. We'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at how.
Howdy, I believe that striking equity.
Point of order. Here, choose some services, the good senator didn't say his name.
That's true, you're out of order. It's down to
Yes.
Okay, we're now moving into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I see Chair Herb.
Howdy, Senate.
Hey.
Chair Hurt, you're probably like, okay, if you've known me for a long time, you're like, why are you speaking against equity? Some people long argued in favor for. I think the biggest thing about this is SB 17 does not necessarily apply to us, but I do think that we need to be cognizant of the issue of SB 17 and the effects of it. In the grand macro scale of politics, you're seeing a lot of pressure from the state legislature, seeing a lot of pressure from to the Board of Regents about us staying away from equity and inclusion. So I think the language and the verbiage, even though it's well intentioned, and I completely argue in favor that we do need to be promoting equity. I think this legislation does that. All equity means is being impartial. It means that we serve the student body. That is what we do. That is what the goal of this commission is, not commission, committee is. I think that we've done enough language to promote this, and I think we should save off from trying to actually be so brought to that. With that, I yield to Senator Hargrove.
Seeing that Senator Hargrove has been yielded to, you'll have 1 minute and 26 seconds beginning at howdy.
Hey. Howdy, y'all.
Howdy.
College of Education and Human Development. I mean, you can't blame somebody, sorry. But essentially, I agree with all the statements that are being said. Equity is a dangerous word to use in this political climate right now. The intent for that was just to try to get out and still include that because equity is giving students what they need to success. But if it is indeed an issue as it has been presented in this body, then I believe that it should be stricken from this amendment. So I believe that you should put down the word equity and agree with it. I yield my time to this one.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we are now. We're still in the second round of debate for this amendment. Do I see any debate for the amendment? Seeing that. We'll now move to the second round of debate against this amendment. Do I see any debate against this? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We'll move into a period of voting on this amendment. This is Chair Horton's amendment. We'll do this via a general consent. Do I see any objections to Chair Horton's amendment? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Okay, now we're moving to Senator Hargrove's amendment that has now been changed. Are we following? We're just adding the word accessibility now. Okay, we will move into the first round of debate for this amendment. Do I see any debate for this amendment? Seeing none, we'll now move into the first round of debate against this amendment. Do I see any debate against this amendment? I see Chair Chu.
Chair, Student Services, howdy. So. Adding the word accessibility makes it a little bit too ambiguous for this chair specifically, especially since we're already dealing with these things in my committee, the Student Services Committee. Specifically, the good Senator Ben Willis is already tackling this within we're planning on tackling it within a subcommittee. The subcommittee is not yet formed, but it is in the works. And we already have that working group and contacts established. So to add accessibility to a committee that doesn't really have to do with much of accessibility, that only focuses on traditions and culture, we should probably just keep it at that and exclude words like equity, accessibility, and stuff. With that, I yield my time to The
This is-
floor.
This is the first round of debate against the amendment. So now we're moving into the second round of debate against for the amendment. Do I see any debate for the amendment? I see Senator Babalka. You will have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
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 Senator Bunko Bush School. A lot of the things that this committee specifically does, and a lot of this committee does work together and have many different parts that kind of correlate, and it's not explicitly stated in the code where those boundaries are. Currently, the DNI committee does do work with accessibility, like disability resources, and stuff like working with parents and like the little Aggie Act, where parents and children. Where the university works with parents and children, find childcare and help with parents who are pregnant. Sorry, I didn't think about this very hard before. But regardless, this is still accessibility. Pregnancy is accessibility. Being a parent is part of accessibility. Why would you want to remove that from tradition and culture if that is currently part of the DNI committee? That takes them away from the essence. And it doesn't mean that student services and traditions and culture can work together to still create a more accessible and welcoming campus to all people. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, but I believe that removing accessibility from culture really harms our community because that is part of the culture. There are people who are disabled at our school. There are parents who are temporarily under the stigma or calling of disabled. Why would we want to hurt them in this process by removing accessibility from traditions and culture? I yield my time to Senator Hargrove.
Seeing that Senator Hargrove has been yielded to, you will have 56 seconds beginning at Howdy.
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 College of Education and Human Development. I introduced this accessibility board because we have had a number of problems, and other people have been tradition directors before, like myself, with accessibility at our traditions as well. This is something very vital to our culture. We want to make sure that all of our traditions and everything that is involved in our agriculture is accessible. If we have a committee dedicated to traditions and culture, and they're able to work to ensure that every single tradition, every single event that we have on this campus is accessible, I think that's something we should legislate on. We have a big accessibility issue here on this campus, one that people have already started to work on. But I think there's no reason we should stop in trying to make another committee responsible for that as well. The more hands we have to improve the accessibility of this campus, the more people can experience that culture, and the more people can become part of that Aggie family and that community that we mentioned in this act. With that, I yield my time to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. I see Church.
Chair Student Services, howdy.
Howdy.
From experience, I can tell you that my wife and I both, with our son, are not affected in any sort of way by the fact that we're not adding the word accessibility to this specific committee. Because that doesn't really affect the culture. We are Aggies, we respect each other. We don't really have to add a word accessibility in order to make senators who should be holding the highest degree of the Aggie values accountable. Also, the Senator Hargrove is correct that there should be all hands on deck working to get things passed, especially when it comes to accessibility. However, adding the word accessibility to a committee that doesn't have anything really to do with accessibility, it's the Traditions and Culture Committee, doesn't really make any sense. Furthermore, I would argue that this word would be better fit adding it into the code under the responsibilities for the Student Services Chair, because these are all things that I'm already working on. I'm working on this accessibility, I'm working on pregnant parking, or pregnant parenting parking, kind of like at HEB had parking, and you've heard me talk about it in previous meetings. So these are all things that we're already doing. And I would encourage the senators to make acts to add the word accessibility to the Student Services Chair position in the code, rather than adding it to a chair, to the code under a chair that doesn't really have to do with accessibility. With that, I yield to Senator Hurd.
Seeing that Chair Hurt has been yielded to, you'll have 46 seconds beginning at
Madam Speaker, what is the
46 seconds.
How do you send it?
Already had it.
Chair Hurd, not Senator, big one now. Alarm, I think we should, Chair Chu has brought up a very important point. I think there is a distinction a little bit. I think the student services handles the services and the equity and accessibility of our campus. I think that falls handily under there. I think we're trying to get at the verbiage and the cultural aspect of impartiality and equity and diversity. And I think that's something that I want to later on through this amendment process, I think we should add those values, respect, leadership, loyalty, integrity, self-service, encompasses what I think we're trying to accomplish, the value side of Texas, impartiality, promoting fairness, making sure everyone feels included here, family. I hope that we possibly stand in favor of that, but I think that.
Please wrap up in 1 second to your left.
I just.
Okay, with that,
Madam Speaker, I withdraw my motion.
Yes.
with that, we're now moving. I see Senator Owen.
That was the previous question. Wait.
Second.
What a personal information. Chair Williams, Community Relations, you made the motion to withdraw your motions. Did we see a second on that?
Second.
Yeah, okay, there we go. So now the motion before the floor is withdrawing his motion. If that passes, we don't vote on this. So it's just like previous question.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, now we're voting.
No.
We're voting on whether or not he can withdraw his
Motion.
motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the withdrawal of the motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Now we are moving to the, I see Senator Steele.
Point of personal privilege.
State your point.
Senator Steele off campus caucus. Friendly amendments would be great right now.
State your motion.
On the same exact section that we just previously talked about, I motion after the word culture, Aggie values.
Second.
Second.
Right there, we're just putting it.
Madam Speaker, I'm blind, so I yes.
Right after the word culture and between communities.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require 2/3 majority vote. We will start with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this, against this motion. Do I see any debate against this? Seeing none, is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Now we're voting on the act. Well, we're not voting. Now we're debating on the act.
4.
Yes, but I see Senator Steele.
Sorry, point of information.
Say your point.
Senator Steele off campus caucus. Are we, is this for or against?
I'm getting it, but for.
Okay.
Yes. Chair Hurd.
Chair Hurd, Madam, just point of information.
State your point.
Would it be an operational amendment for the Lightning Act of 6 to add Commissioner Ramirez for representation or Commissioner? Okay, Madam Speaker, I'd like to make a motion.
State your motion.
Madam Speaker, let it further be enacted 6. I would like to add.
State your
Chair
point.
Hurd.
This is for time that ended, we were in line.
It's true.
Thanks.
Madam Speaker.
Senator Bowling.
I move the previous one.
Second.
I will vote. Wait. I'll remove the previous question.
Steve Coit,
Caucus, can't call a previous question,
quiet, please, I can't hear him.
can't call a previous question until debate has started. If there's nobody who's debated yet,
Madam Speaker,
Senator Hargrove.
I move to amend Act 6 to add Chloe Ramirez, Senate President. I move to enact mid 6 to add Chloe Ramirez representation.
second,
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, debatable and amendable and will require 2/3 majority vote. We will start with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this? Seeing none, we'll now move into the first round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it's the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. Do I see any objections to the motion to amend? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Okay, now we're in the first round of debate for this act. Do I see any debate for this act? I see Senator Wells. State your motion.
Motion for secret ballot.
One word.
State your point. Okay, do I see a second on that motion? Second.
Secret ballot is majority vote. Yeah, because you're amending voting.
Seeing that the motion has been made and seconded, we will now move into a period of voting. Or no, a period of debate on this motion. We will begin with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I see Senator Wells. You have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Senator Wells, engineer.
Howdy.
I believe that since this act is very controversial among a lot of the student body in the Senate, that we should have a secret ballot. I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we'll now move into the first round of debate against this motion. I see Senator Sloan. You will have 2.5 minutes beginning at Howdy.
Senator Sloan, off-campus caucus. I think that this does not need to be a secret ballot vote. I think that accountability is important. Whenever the students here at Texas A&M want to know who voted for this, who voted against it, I think they have the right to know. And hiding behind a secret ballot isn't fair. I yield to Senator or Chair Birch.
Being that chair has been yielded to, you have 2 minutes and 12 seconds beginning at Howdy. Howdy, Senate. Chair Hurt. Chair Hurt.
Okay, so I agree with Senator Sloan here. I think that you need to vote with your chest on this. If you don't want to promote disability and actually begin promotion of Texas A&M culture or our student body. Okay, that's fine. Do it with your chest. I think you're a senator, you were elected to serve the student body, serve them if you think that's the best ability, but I don't think you should have time to max it. And with that, I yield.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion?
I object.
We'll now move into a period of voting on this motion. We'll do this via standing vote. All those in favor of this motion, please rise as you are.
Voting on secret ballot.
All I know what we're doing on my side.
Okay.
And it's on a patent.
All those opposed? Yeah, thank you. By a vote of 4 to 40, this motion does fail. With that, we are in the first round of debate on this piece. Proceeding debate for this piece. I see Senator Adam. You'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Senator Roderick, off-campus caucus, howdy.
Howdy.
I think we kind of beat that horse at this point. We've made a lot of revisions on this, and we have done quite a bit to appease all parties involved with this to try and really just change this to be a committee that involves both student well-being as well as some of these diversity and inclusion points without explicitly stating them, and then also involving culture. So I think this is something that we can all commonly vote and agree. So with that, I yield to Sarah.
Seeing that Senator Owen has been yielded to, you will have 2 minutes and 1 second.
I move the previous question.
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is amendable and debatable and will require.
It's non,
Okay, it is,
it should we just vote?
okay, it is undebatable and unamendable and require two-thirds?
Mhm.
2/3 majority vote. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to moving to previous question? I object.
Now conduct.
We will now conduct this vote via standing vote led by Pro Tem. All those in favor of this motion, rise as you are able. Look at me. Please be quiet while we're voting.
Point of parliamentary inquiry,
State your point.
under Steele off-campus caucus, doesn't
Please be quiet.
the against side usually start first in debate? We started with 4,
There was no debate.
There wasn't debate.
no, for the act itself. We started with the 4, the first person to speak was 4. Usually we start with against.
Yeah, there was a yes before that.
Yeah, in Robert's rules, debate goes first. Yeah, debate 4 goes first.
Thanks.
We get that, could I like challenge that or something?
As the interpreter of the Senate bylaws and Robert's rules in the Senate. Well, might somebody saw that. Anyway, point of order, Chair Horton, do not ask for permission back and forth.
I see Senator Sloan's.
Point of information, Senator Swan, off-campus caucus, when this whole deal, I've had that been done. What, a couple minutes ago, or just need to do it now.
Point of personal privilege. Chair Williams, community relations, technically, a parliamentary inquiry or point of order or anything like that can't be going on while we're voting. So we are having a previous question.
We're voting, we're recording the vote.
Okay, all those opposed? We're voting on a motion to move to the previous question. By a vote of 36-7, this motion does pass. We are now voting on the act. This makes sense to everyone. All those in favor of passing the act, please rise as you are able. All those opposed? By a vote of 42-6, this piece does pass. We're now moving into a period of new business, beginning with SR 7819, the ticket pool feedback resolution. Will the author of the piece please come to the floor? You will have 10 minutes beginning at Howdy. Senator Teets off-campus caucus, howdy.
Howdy.
This is a ticket pool feedback resolution. A resolution encouraging the opportunity to formally respond to the online ticket pool process be given to Texas A&M University students. Whereas Texas A&M University has made a recent shift to an online ticket pool format in order to mitigate the safety concerns of the longstanding in-person ticket pool tradition. And whereas the online ticket pool format has increased ticket accessibility for students by creating a ticket pool schedule, sending pool tickets directly to students' email addresses, and making tickets easily downloadable to student cell phones. And whereas the student body is grateful for the attention to detail and hours of hard work that went into creating such a convenient system. And whereas many students, in tandem with their gratitude, have expressed concerns about the new system regarding placement transparency, seating fairness, not being seated with their pool groups, and the potential impact on the student section game day experience. And whereas student senators have received a substantial amount of informal feedback from students frustrated or confused by the new process. Therefore, let it be resolved, the Texas A&M Student Senate formally acknowledges the widespread student concern regarding the change to the online ticket pool format, and let it be further resolved, the Student Senate actively encourages the executive branch of the Student Government Association, Office of the President, and the 12th Man Foundation to continue the excellent work they have been doing with the ticket pool issue, and to establish an official student feedback mechanism to collect data on student experiences, preferences, and critiques regarding the new system. And let it be further resolved, the Student Senate supports a feedback mechanism to tabulate student opinions on how they would rate their online ticket pool experience in comparison to their in-person ticket pool experience, how they would rate the seats allocated to them via the online system in comparison to the in-person system, whether they feel their seniority is accurately prioritized by the online system, whether they have had positive experiences with the new group pool system, whether they have concerns regarding fiscal transparency, and whether they have suggestions for improvements. And let it be further resolved, the Student Senate advocates that this data be taken into consideration when making future modifications to the online ticket pool system. And let it be further resolved, the Student Senate encourages all students to participate in the forthcoming feedback form to ensure their voices are heard and considered in any future decisions regarding the ticket pool process. And let it be further resolved, the Student Senate remains open to suggestions and innovations from the student body and will continue advocating for a format that best promotes safety, fairness, and the student body's opinion. Let it be further resolved, a copy of this resolution be sent to General Welsh, 12th Man, Carter Mallory, and Patel. With that, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for our presenter? I see Chair Williams.
Chair Williams, Community Relations. This might not pertain exactly to the feedback resolution itself, but say there were mistakes in ticket pool, as in speaking from personal experience, I did not get a ticket last game after I pulled. Where would we like draw the line and being able to like let the people know that, hey, this is glitching out.
In my opinion, this is just encouraging those listed to create a feedback form.
Okay.
And so what you do with that is up to you. I think as the voice of the student body, we need to give a formal outlet or kind of a formal way for these opinions to make their way up the chain. And I am sorry. Point of personal privilege, Speaker Justino. SVP Mallory is gonna talk about that in his executive thing at the end. But we are working on feedback forms and that's happening, but this is kind of like us voicing our opinions that it needs to happen, if that makes sense. Senator Steele,
There's Steel Off-Campus Caucus, permission to preface.
granted.
So seeing how this resolution is actively encouraging the executive branch to create some sort of feedback system or perhaps some sort of survey, do you think it could be more efficient to make this a bill so that this is something that will for sure happen?
Well, I do hear that, and I did consider it. I think the data would be more useful in the hands of the people actually doing the process as compared to in our hands through a bill.
Thank you.
Do I see any other questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we thank her for her. With that, we will now move into a period of debate on this piece, beginning with debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? I see Senator Steele. You have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
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 Senator Steel Off-Campus Caucus. I know y'all probably don't want to listen to me, but I got elected, so y'all have to. I think this is actually a really great idea, the idea of having a feedback loop. I just think this should be a bill, because when you have something like a resolution where it's just encouraging the executive branch, for example, to do something, there's always a chance that the executive branch just says, you don't really want to do it. I'm not saying that's gonna happen. In fact, that probably won't happen, but there's always a chance of that happening, and I've seen it happen before. So I would recommend that we actually make this into a bill, so it's something that the executive branch has to follow through on. And then you could just change the wording to say they'll work with the office of the president, the whole thing's how it is. But that being said, I yield to.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we'll now move into the third round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the third round of debate against this piece. I see Senator Yanos. We'll have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Senator Wells, engineering. Howdy. I believe that the feedback loop is a great idea for part of this bill, but I do believe too that for it to actually be a proper feedback loop, just encouraging a feedback loop usually can be difficult to actually get things done. If this were to also be a bill, it would be much more efficient at doing what it's trying to do and actually creating that feedback loop, which would probably help the students a lot. I yield to, I'm sorry, I yield to the floor.
Not a big grab motion.
Say your motion.
I moved previous one. Senator Williams, Chair Williams, Community Relations, I was the previous one.
We have motion has been made and seconded. We will now move into voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objection to the motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. We will now move into voting on the piece. All of those in favor of the passage of 78:19, please rise as you are able. All those opposed? I vote 46-2, this piece does pass. We will now move into the consideration of SR 7822, the tuition freeze resolution. Will the author please come to the floor?
Oh, okay. Perfectly. Okay, good, that's not bad.
We'll have 10 minutes beginning now.
Howdy, my name is Senator Hargrove, College of Education and Community Development.
Hi, I'm Senator James Zoni, College of Engineering.
Howdy, I'm Senator Garcia, off campus.
And this is the Aggie tuition freeze resolution. So if you didn't know, recently the System Board of Regents did freeze our tuition for the next 2 consecutive academic terms, which is a big step for affordability on this campus for our students. We did see a price hike a little bit in between that time, but now we won't see a base increase for the next 2 years, which is a really great step towards making college more accessible and less costs for students here on campus.
The resolution is mostly just thanking the, the tuition freeze for, helping out students and decreasing or keeping the affordability of the tuition down.
So essentially, to kind of follow up that, we are thanking the Board of Regents for this tuition free for 2 years, and we just kind of highlight how it benefits college affordability and as well as like personal finances for all individuals.
Yes, and then we continually affirm that we look for more opportunities to reduce the cost of attendance here at Texas A&M University when it comes to our course materials, our instructional materials, and all other fees associated with Texas A&M. We're now looking for questions.
With that, our authors stand open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Willis.
Senator Willis on Campus Caucus, do you know how this will affect students who have already had the locked tuition option as opposed to the variable tuition option?
It'll be locked in still. You'll have the same rate. If you already locked in, you'll have the same rate locked in. Locked.
Do I see any other questions for the authors? Seeing none, we thank them for their time. With that, we are now moving into debate on this piece, beginning with the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this? Seeing none, it's the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this piece. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the passage of 7822, the Aggie tuition freeze resolution? Seeing none, this piece does pass. With that, we will now move into open session. The floor is now open for motions. Do I see any motions? I see Chair Hurt.
Chair Laura, I motion to discuss the stand defense of Washington.
Same Madam motion has been made and seconded. It is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will now move into the first round debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion, against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. Now we move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the passage of this motion? Seeing none, we will attempt to do this motion via a standing vote. All those in favor of this motion, please rise as you are able. Yeah, to consider. It's a motion to consider. All those opposed to the motion? By a vote of 48-0, this motion does pass. Will the authors please come to the floor? I cede the chairship to Pro Tem Tucker. Oh, shoot.
Authors of the act, you will have 10 minutes to present beginning at howdy.
Howdy. In the Harvard College of Education and Human Development.
Speaker Justina.
Howdy, Chair. Yes, you will find this resolution, it should be in the open session drive in our legislation folder. But this is the We Stand with President Welsh resolution, a resolution of support standing firmly with President Mark A. Welsh III.
Since December 12th of 2023, General Retired Mark A. Welsh has faithfully served President of Texas A&M University with the distinction, honor, integrity, and deep commitment to the students of Texas A&M University, embodying our core values of respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service. And whereas to
President Welsh has been a steady unifying presence here at Texas A&M University and has guided our campus and community through periods of change, reflecting the atmosphere and bringing a clear vision for the future of our campus and university. And whereas 3,
President Welsh proudly showed the community spirit and beauty of being an Aggie in his 2022 campus muster speech. In his speech, he declared, "To this outsider, muster is a remarkable window to the spirit of Aggie." It's also a wonderful time to reflect on why Texas A&M matter, why Aggies matter, and what this ceremony tonight is really all about. Good universities make an impact on the students, on their cities, on their states, even on their country. But great universities stand for something, and this is a great university. I have always believed that Texas A&M serves as a call to sons and daughters of Texas, and increasingly other states and other nations. That you can be part of something greater than yourself, that you can do more than you ever thought possible, that you can dream big dreams, Texas-sized dreams, and you can achieve them. The 12th man is simply a call to a life of service. Whereas 4.
during his presidency, President Mark A. Welsh III has taken steps to prioritize student experience at Texas A&M student body in response to student feedback and findings from the 2024 student experience study and capacity study. He announced that the new undergraduate enrollment of Maine College Station campus will be limited to 15,000 students for the next 5 to 7 years, in order to allow for the needed infrastructure improvements in housing, dining, study space, faculty hiring, parking, and transportation that will all benefit and improve the student experience. And whereas
President Welsh has also made more improvement steps such as the reform of the Path Forward initiative, which included a quick look assessment entailing 100 listening sessions from students, faculty, and staff, highlighting his commitment to Texas A&M University staff and students. And whereas 6.
Under President Welsh, the university has made mental health and wellness a priority, partnering with the JED Foundation for support of student mental health, substance misuse prevention, and suicide prevention across the Texas A&M University system. And the student experience study has explicitly identified student well-being as central to institutional priorities, and whereas 7.
In the wake of the recent controversy of student being removed from class, President Welsh responded with transparency and a calm leadership, prioritizing communication with students and reaffirming the university's core values. Whereas 8.
President Welsh has made clear that Aggies deserve to learn in classrooms where respect, fairness, and open dialogue are upheld, reflecting his dedication to the student experience. His response demonstrated a calm, level-headed type of leadership that this university needs. And whereas 9.
Calls for President Welsh's removal are not representative of the opinions of and the will of the student body of Texas A&M University, which has overwhelmingly supported his leadership in unifying and guiding this campus. And whereas 10.
Members of the student body have come forward to make the following statements to support Mark A. Welsh III. President Welsh understands lives out core values. His dedication to Texas A&M staff and students is clear through his actions and words. Requests for his removal are unfounded and clearly not in the best interest of the university. I trust his leadership. His experience has uniquely qualified him for the job. Texas A&M needs President Welsh to continue vital work he's doing for our university. This is from Abby Johnson, family of our Aggie family. General Welsh has shown continuous commitment to upholding Texas A&M's core values. Welsh is a selfless leader who truly cares about the best interests of the students and the university as a whole. His team is a chemist, engineer, criminal science. This university has greatly benefited from the strong and humble leadership of General Welsh. He cares deeply about the success and flourishing of all students, both inside and outside the classroom. This is from Meredith Cannon, the senior recreation department employees. And whereas 11.
Mark Welsh has clearly been, Mark Welsh has been my favorite president of TAMU because of his genuine care for us as students and the way he's wholeheartedly embraced his role as caretaker of this university. From graduation ceremonies to midnight yells, Welsh shows to encourage students and faculty alike and fully embodies the 12th man. He's the kind of man who I know would be happy to sit down and talk with any student, regardless of their status. He truly feels like a dad to all of us Aggies. Abigail Robertson, a senior anthropology major.
And whereas 11, Mark A. Welsh III has continually made efforts to walk the campus, attending student events and exhibitions, and engaging directly with students, proving he is not simply just an administrator, but an integral part of the Aggie family and community. Aggies believe in loyalty, respect, and integrity, which means standing with those who have stood with us, just as Mark A. Welsh III has stood with students of Texas A&M University. So shall we stand with him. And whereas 12,
The Texas A&M Student Senate stands as the official representatives of the student body. We are the voices of the student. We recognize student opinion and have overwhelming support from students for President Welsh in his ongoing leadership and work.
Therefore, let it be resolved, the Texas A&M University Student Senate on behalf of the student body formally expresses its complete confidence and faith in Texas A&M University President Mark A. Welsh III and commends his steady and integral leadership during this recent classroom controversy and
Let it be resolved 3. The Texas A&M Student Senate calls for the Student Senate reaffirms the support of President Welsh's long-term initiatives, including the enrollment infrastructure expansion, faculty hiring commitment, and student experience improvements, and recognizes that these actions directly enhance the quality of campus-like educational experiences and uphold Aggie core values. And let it further be resolved.
the Texas A&M Student Senate calls for unity amongst prospective students and former. We are stronger, we are unified in our effort and love for Texas A&M rather than being divided by partisanship. Let us live up to selfless service and not political theater. Let it be further resolved.
4. The Student Senate calls upon Texas A&M University System Board of Regents Chancellor Glenn Hagler, faculty, staff, students, and all members of the Texas A&M Aggie family to join the student body in supporting and standing with President Welsh as he continues guiding Texas A&M University through pivotal time. And
let it further be resolved, the Student Senate commits to ongoing collaboration with President Welsh and his administration, as well as with the student body to ensure that all Aggie voices remain represented and heard and are central to decision making.
Madam Speaker.
And
I move to extend time by 3 minutes.
Seeing that the motion has been made and seconded, we will now go into a period of debate on this motion. Do I see?
Speaker Pro Tem, I have it. Or some, I don't know. Friendly amendment? The SPC has not signed it.
Oh,
Fine. Go crazy. Out amendment. We're still in presentation. We're extending the amendment.
we're extending time. We will now enter the first round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? We will now enter this first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now enter the second round for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now enter the second round against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, I
We'll attempt
will attempt to conduct this vote via general consent. Do I see any objection? Seeing none, this motion is
I'm more simple.
time will extend by 3 minutes.
Alright. Let it be further resolved. 5, Student Senate commits to ongoing collaboration with President Welsh and the administration with the student body to ensure that all Aggie voices remain represented, heard, and central to the decision-making tactics of the university. And Let it further be resolved 6, the student senate called upon the student body who are willing and able to show their support for President Welch, sending letters to support Welch in the Texas A&M Board of Regents, the chancellor, and stakeholders and politicians who are critical to the situation. Taking the lead of student leaders who have already sent the letter in conjunction with the student body president. And let it further be resolved 7, a copy of this resolution be sent to the following people.
With that, the authors are now open for a 5-minute period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for the authors? Seeing none, we'll.
Senator Sloan.
Senator, no.
No,
Sorry,
He raised it before.
Senator Sloan.
Senator Sloan, off-campus caucus.
Y'all seem to have done, some talking with students. How many students did y'all talk to whenever y'all were compiling, the information for this? Did y'all reach out to TPUSA? Did y'all reach out to something like that? We're mixing back and forth.
Briefly.
Yeah, it's my understanding that there is a lot of support from students, to just see what the regions do. Do you think it's fair to say that a majority of students do not want General Melcher?
Yes. I can say that for almost a matter of fact. I think when coming from TPUSA, I actually was the president of TPUSA, president of political science studies. This has been a big discussion, particularly after the breakup of the passing of Charlie Kirk. I think polarization has been a big factor that's affecting students, and I think we are just wanting stability. I think that when we continue this big back and forth change, political change, be it good or bad, however you do it, I think students just want trust back into the university and stability in that university. And President Welch has been our leader this entire time for President and I think we trust him.
Do I, Senator Owen?
I'm in College of Ag and Life Sciences. Do you think students have enough information in this room to cast a vote on this topic? Or have there been investigations done that have been closed door that students haven't seen to be able to make a judgment on this?
I mean, this is a matter of opinion. I think anything that you've seen online, everything's been basically rules at this point, in my opinion. You can look through the Twitter feeds, you can, or the X feeds, you can look through the statements, you can look through the articles. All the information that has been provided, I think, has been provided. The determination of the US attorney looking into the event and any other person who's looking into the event haven't come out yet. But I believe still strongly that the students of this body, here at Texas A&M University strongly do think Mark Walsh has been a great president. I've talked to a number of students. I haven't talked to political organizations or any organizations really, just because I wanted the student to know this. I didn't want organizational belief. I believe students believe that Mark Welsh is their president, and I believe that we all stand with him.
Senator Steele?
Senator Steele, off-campus caucus, would you say the majority of students you talked to have been in support of something like this?
Yes.
Thank you.
I have not had a single student actually tell me they're not.
Thank you.
Chair Horton, rules and regs. First should preface.
Yes.
So, IA has a great tool. It has the power to survey students. And I think with something as polarizing and dynamic as this, that I think first IA or SGA should conduct a poll, see how the student body feels, especially about this such divisive issue. And hey, I'm sorry, I'm getting to it. So would you like to see maybe tabling this instead and conducting a survey?
Seeing that President Carter Mallory has already issued an executive letter.
Pro Tem, I have a motion with that.
State your motion.
Joe Williams, community relations, I move to extend the question and answer period by 4 minutes. So, okay.
Seeing that the motion has been stated and seconded, we will now move into a period of debate for this motion. Do I? Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the first round against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into a period of voting. The chair has decided the debate has become one-sided. And we will move into a period of voting via general consent. Do I see any objections? Seeing none, this, the motion is passed by general consent.
Okay, to answer your question, there has been a letter released by SVP Mallory that has over 8 pages of student leaders on campus, supporting that letter. This reflects that same sentiment, so I think that's fair.
Yeah, just extending a little bit further, you have IFC representative, Panhellenic representative, organizations like political organization who signed on, and various members of the executive also signed on, including Adam Speaker as well for the legislature.
Senator Adamick.
Senator Adamick, off-campus caucus, if this resolution does pass, and with the students' permission to attend,
Briefly.
do you guys believe that the voice of Senate as well as student body is accurately going to be reflected to the Board of Regents as well as those higher up in the state government? Do you think they will take into consideration our opinion, knowing that there's been already talks to remove Welsh for a while now?
I think so. If we are the representative of the student body here at the student senate. That is our slogan. We are the voice of the students. So we represent that student body, and us saying this right here and setting it off, we're saying the students support this. This is what the students think. This is the opinion of the students. And so I believe that if this is pushed forward, I believe this will be taken into consideration. A lot of people do see our legislation. Now, I can't say that for 100% certainty that they're gonna take it into consideration. But along with the letters that have already been sent by Carter Mallory or SVP and a number of other student leaders and students who are already sending letters, I think this will be weighed very greatly in consideration.
Senator Wells.
Senator Wells, engineering, we should have practiced briefly.
Granted.
I do believe that probably the majority of the student body does support this plan. But even though the student body does support it, at least it appears that the student body supports this bill, I feel like as students in it, because we are directly representing that body, doing some sort of survey. Make it not only look better on us, to make sure that we are actually converting that from what we talk about, as a lot of us know, people who may be more opinionated than more, given our position in Senate. Would it be wise to confirm that before we pass this, as it would probably reflect good on us and reflect good to just absolutely confirm that that's true?
I think that's a great point. I am all in favor of student employment surveys. We do not have time. I think this discussion is being expedited, particularly because of the macro scale of politics. You're seeing representatives and governors and lieutenant governors putting a lot of immense pressure. I think we as students need to take the action to say, I know I am in favor of neutrality and saying nothing in the wake of good politics, because that means once you take a stand, you're going to have your haters. I'm asking you to have the courage to stand for President Welsh, who has been our leader. That is something that's scary, and I understand that. As a political science major, I understand the ramifications. But I think we need to understand and get a sign and stand for our students and stand for our president.
Senator Vivanco.
Y'all feel like we have to align with the executive as working.
Your choosing those is a good senator to take.
We don't have to.
That is true, you're out of order. Senator Steele.
Senator Steele off campus caucus, do you believe that if we were to do a survey, it should have happened before the executive branch released a letter about it?
It could have been well intentioned, but again, I think because of the timeliness there, I think that we just need to sort of move past that.
Senator Murray.
Senator Murray off campus caucus. Does Senate have enough power to change anything to where our position would be taken seriously in a way that like we wouldn't get backlash for just agreeing with the leadership?
I think that we are taken seriously enough to do what we can with this resolution. I think obviously we can't march down to the Board of Regents and demand them to do what we say. Obviously, we have the power to control. But what we can do is say, we as the representatives of the student body, the student boards state, we believe X, Y, Z. That's why we have this resolution.
So no matter what passes, I mean, we do a number of resolutions, acts. There's gonna be people that like it, there's gonna be people that hate it, so we're just gonna have to deal with that.
Senator Vivanco.
Senator Ronco Bushpool, considering how exec has already posted a letter and it's been publicized, what harm would come from splitting SGA's views?
This is us supporting the same exact argument, and I think that this only helps. This is just us telling the regents and everyone that we sent this to, that we reflect those same sentiments. And I think it helps to voice our executive branch and student bodies.
And I don't know if any of you were here during this time, but we did have Mark Welch in this very room. He came to us at a meeting and he took our questions, he took our feedback, and he worked to solve any issues that we brought up. And I believe that one, he is willing to stand with us on these issues and being able to take that feedback, being able to apply it, and then push forward capacity study, push forward the student experience study. I believe that's somebody we want to stand with, somebody who has stood with us. So I urge you to vote for this resolution.
Senator Patel.
Chairman Patel, Trustees Affairs, I apologize for already answered the question, but is there a certain time crunch to getting this passed tonight as opposed to
Yes,
maybe
yes.
pushing back and forth?
The period of period of question and answer is now, I don't know, expired. So we'll now move into a period of debate for this motion, resolution. Do I see any debate for this resolution? Senator Chair Williams.
Chair Williams, Community Relations, howdy Senate. So I probably should go about it this way, but I mean, I'll come out front and say, I don't agree with everything that happened in the whole situation. I'm not condoning anything. I'm not saying that what happened was right, but I can say that nothing about it, nobody went about the whole thing right. But that doesn't give us an excuse to go about it wrong either. Just outright saying that we don't back our president who has fought in the front lines for us, through thick and thin. Just because he did, I'm not saying he made a mistake. There was room for improvement. And I think this is gonna be a learning curve for everybody. And honestly, if y'all had listened and read into what he's been saying and doing, he is willing to make that change, and we can't meet in the middle somewhere if we just outright stand on one side and be like, you know what? You're wrong, I'm right. There will be no change. And that's all I have with that. I yield to some Senator Steele.
Senator Steele, you have 1 minute and 24 seconds beginning at howdy.
Senator Steele off campus caucus, howdy.
Howdy.
Great to be down, great to be down here again. All I wanna say is, we've had some things concerning, maybe we should have had a survey done or something like that. I think we've already made our stance clear on the executive side and including a bunch of different other organizations like Panhandle in it, like we already said. I'm just gonna be very blunt. I think this is just gonna be a decision of whether we want President Welch or whether we don't. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really want President Welch. I was here whenever, as the great Senator Hargrove mentioned, I was here whenever he came and spoke to us. And as a little freshman senator, that was really cool. So a president who's willing to have an open dialogue with us is already a step above anything I've ever seen. Admittedly, I've only seen one. But the fact of the matter is, I don't want him removed. That's why I'm voting for him. If you want him removed, you can vote against. I yield to Senator Ramonko.
Senator Vivanco, you have 22 seconds beginning at howdy.
Senator Bongo, Bush Pool, howdy, as a reminder, the STA Instagram, official Instagram has already posted the executive letter. We have already made our stance. If we cut this bill, or even if someone doesn't write anything new, we are supposedly the voice of the student body, that would mean off the back what we've already stated. And also, I also want Mark Welch.
Please wrap up in 1 sentence or less.
This situation was not handled perfectly, there's a lot of nuance, but I think that we should still back him. Thank you.
Do I see any debate against this resolution? Chair Horton? You have 2.5 minutes beginning at howdy.
Chair Horton, Rules and Regs. First, I'd like to say, Hallie, that this is not a referendum of whether or whether or not we would like to see President Welch removed. What this is deciding whether or not that the Senate, as the voice of the student body, truly believes that this is something that, a majority of the students are supporting, that a majority of the students, stand by all the actions he has taken. With it, I mean, it's to see if the majority of the students, agree with him knowing about a professor threatening a student and covering it up for a month until State Rep Brian Harrison came out and revealed it to the public. I do not believe that through not passing this resolution, that is equivalent to saying we're gonna remove Welsh. But I also think that if we are to take a stance of supporting him unequivocally in all the actions in his policies, then student becomes associated with the actions that he has done. And I don't know if at this point, I could say that the student body in its entirety wants to be associated with all the controversy. And we as the voice of the student body, will make them associated with this through the passage of this resolution. So I'd just like to reiterate, this is not a referendum on whether or not Welsh should be removed by the Board of Regents, it's whether or not the student body should be affected. I yield to the floor.
Moving into the second round of debate for this resolution, I can't debate for this yet. Senator
Charlie Glover, on campus caucus, Senator Glover, I would like to make a motion to amend the bill, to be mentioned as a sponsor. Or the resolution.
Saying,
Okay.
Seeing that this motion has been stated and seconded, we will now move into a period of debate for this motion. Starting with 4, do I see any debate for this motion? Senator Steele.
Parliamentary inquiry. Senator Steele off campus caucus, is this the equivalent to the motion where you're adding yourself and anybody else as a sponsor, or is this anything different?
Yes, size.
Yeah, Chair Horton, rules and regs, Senator Glover only mentioned adding herself, so this amendment, would just include herself, however, we could amend the amendment.
Withdrawal.
Senator Glover.
You just.
I'd like to amend my motion to include Senator Glover off campus caucus. I'd like to amend my motion to make it an equal amendment for anyone who would also like to have themselves as a sponsor.
Second.
We'll now, have debate. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, so we're left on the third level.
Okay. Seeing that motion to amend the amendment has been made and seconded, we will now move into a round of debate for this motion amendment. Do I see any debate for? Seeing none, we'll move into debate against. Do I see any debate against? Seeing none, we'll move into our second round 4. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into debate against. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, the chair has become the chair decided this debate has become one-sided, and we'll now move into a period of voting on this piece, which we'll do by general consent. Do I see any objections? Seeing none, this motion is passed to amend the original amendment to include everyone
Who wants to?
who wants to be added as a sponsor.
Now we'll go back to the first time we debate for the amendment. Yes.
Okay, we will now go into the first round of debate for the amendment Glover originally made. Do I see any debate for? Seeing none, we'll now move into a debate against. Do I see any debate against? Seeing none, we move into the second round 4. Do I see any debate for? Seeing none, we now move into debate against. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, the chair has decided this piece is not piece, this motion is one-sided.
Has become one-sided.
And we will now move into a period of voting on this piece. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections? Seeing none, this motion is passed. This amendment is passed. And we will now we will go back to debate against this act, for this act. Do I see any debate for this act? see Senator Hurd.
Chair.
Chair Hurd.
One day.
So sorry.
That's the joke of the day, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Chair first, County Senate. Just providing just a little bit more context. I am all for student input student surveys. I argued that many times. I think time is of the essence. I would like to go against a little bit of the opposition. This is kind of somewhat of a silence benefits the status quo. Silence benefits the media storm that occurs. It is when we take a stand, and when we say something, we will choose an action. We'll, argue in favor of something or against something. We must take a stand though, either way. And when you are silent on the issue, we are not standing. And, I would like to go back to the spirit of Aggie land is we are the Aggies and the Aggies are we. We are true to each other. When you need to be truthful, you must speak the truth. You must stand up to that integrity aspect. You cannot stand for the truth. You cannot stand for Aggies when you are silent. And even though President Welch may not himself have been an Aggie, I do think he lives up for Aggie core values and he's been one great president. And with that, I yield to Chair Patel.
Chairman Patel, you have 1 minute and 49 seconds, beginning at Howdy.
Hi, Senate.
Howdy.
Chair Patel, Constituency Affairs, and as the Constituency Affairs Chair, I love student input, I love surveys, I love data. But let me tell you, as a person who cares so much about that, the ultimate form of student input is the fact that if you're in this room, if you have the name placard, you were elected by the student body. All the student body that cared enough about what we do to vote, elected you. So I want to encourage you ultimately, vote to your conscience, whether that's experientially, talking to people, hearing their opinion about Mark Welch, personal people I've spoken to in classes, in my different parts of the community here. I hear almost nothing but support for him. And say you've never had a conversation like that, I urge you to vote to your conscience of what you feel is right in this particular situation. If you're worried about damaging your reputation in Senate and SGA because we're representing student opinion that might go against Board of Regents, I'd say the damage was done when this massive letter filled with every student leader here and there said its opinion anyway. My conscience and my experience tells me though, I'm gonna vote to president of this university, you're probably the same. With that, I yield to Senator Vivanco.
Oh, sorry. Senator Vivanco, you have 33 seconds, beginning at Howdy.
Senator Vivanco, Bush School. When I posted my Instagram story a few weeks ago of SGA's initial statement, I got this Instagram DM from a student saying, it's only right that the student leader say something about this. We were voted in here to be representatives. Let's do just that. That is our job, that is our role, that's what we were chosen. Right now, whether Senator Patel said, we have a right to make a vote based on what we believe the student body wants. Let's do that. Let's do our jobs, let's be senators, let's represent the student body. Also, SBA has already made a statement. Why would we want to contradict what SBA has already said? Instead, I yield my time to Chair Senator Burnside. Has spoken.
So the round of debate is over.
The floor.
Senator Chair Kim.
Chair Kim, Academic Affairs Chair, I move to amend the resolution on the let it be further resolve 3, instead of prospective students, changing prospective to current students.
Second.
Now seeing that the amendment has been stated and seconded, we'll move into a round of debate for this amendment. Do I see any debate for this amendment? Seeing none, we will move into debate against. Do I see any debate against this amendment? Seeing none, we'll move into the second round of debate for this amendment. Do I see any debate for this amendment? Seeing none, we'll move into the second round of debate against this amendment. Do I see any debate against this amendment? Seeing that the debate has become one-sided, the chair has decided to move on to a period of voting for this amendment via general consent. Do I see any objection? Seeing none, this amendment has been passed. Oh, wait. Chair Warren,
Chair Horton, rules and reg, I move to extend debate by 5 minutes.
Second. Point of parliament rule.
Senator Steele,
Senator Steele. Can you extend debate by minutes or is it only by rounds?
So for Chair Horton, rules and regs, so what that means is 2.5 minutes of this. It's in total by 5 minutes.
So one round.
Yes.
Thank
seeing that this motion has been made and seconded, we will now move into a round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into a round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into a second round for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into a second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, the chair has decided this has become one-sided and we'll move into a period of voting for this motion via general consent. Do I see any objection? Seeing none, this motion has been passed and the round will be extended by 5 minutes. We are now moving on to our second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Chair Warren. You have 2.5 minutes, beginning at howdy.
Howdy, Chair Horton, so a lot of people have come down here and have said that, just because exec has come in support of this, that we must also. But in democracies in America, we have a little thing called separation of powers. And if the legislative body is not like what the executive is doing, then it has the ability to stand up. As well, historically, the student body has not always liked whenever the SVP has issued these proclamations of support. Although I have supported them very recently, there's an Italian party condemning SVP Mallory's letters to Donald Trump about transfer of fairness. And I know there was a good number of students upset about SVP Mallory's act. Now, I fully agree with it. I was there when he did it, but I know students disagree. So it is not always that, whenever exec does something, that automatically is the voice of the student body. And it's the majority opinion of them. So I disagree with the notion that we have to follow in lockstep with exec. With that, I yield to understand. Please.
Senator Sloan, you have 1:12. Again, how do you think?
Howdy. Senator Sloan, off-campus caucus. I think that what exec did was the perfect way to respond to this situation. Made a statement of character. But this resolution right here calls on the regions to do something that quite frankly they may not do. And I don't think this body needs to take a stand when we don't really know what the majority of students wants. To take a stand on uneven ground and say more than what exec did. I think that, if you were for General Welsh stand behind what exec did, but don't speak for your whole caucus whenever you're voting for this, whenever likely you have not talked to very few people in your caucus to be able to say, hey, actually, regions, listen to us, this is what you should do. Because what happens if they do get rid of Welsh? Like, do we lose credibility? I think so. I think that what we should do is stand behind what exec did. If you want to make a statement of character, that's perfect. General Welsh has impeccable character. But I don't think it's fair to, make all these claims, make all these demands, the board of regents. Feel my time.
We will now move into our third round of debate for this motion resolution. Chair Kim? You have 2.5 minutes, beginning at howdy.
Chair Kim, academic affairs. Hey. Although I hear what my fellow senators have said on the motion that perhaps this is not a universal, completely 100% unanimous opinion of the student body. There is still the notion of majority opinion of the student body. And to the point that we don't represent the entirety of our caucus, this is a representative democracy. We don't have all 76,000 students here voting on every piece of resolution, bill or act. We have 80 senators to do that. And if 80 senators, if we happen to choose that this resolution is befitting along with the executive branch's letters, then we should vote on it. I think there's no issue on us issuing the statement as long as we all agree. So I do think we should hurry up and get to the actual vote. And with that, I yield my time to Senator Blue.
Senator, you have 1 minute and 35 seconds beginning in Howdy.
Howdy, Senator Burnside on campus. I'd like to point out that quite literally everything we do is not 100% supported by the student body. So just because we haven't pulled it yet, does not mean we can't vote on it. We still represent everybody. It doesn't mean we have to have 100% support for what we're doing. And I'd also like to point out, this doesn't tarnish our credibility if we just don't necessarily agree. It just shows that we took action the same way that the exec branch has already done. I yield my time to Senator Burnside.
Chairman, so, the previous one.
Seeing that the motion has been made and seconded, we will move into a period of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I'm just kidding. We'll move into a period of voting via general consent. Do I see any objection? Seeing.
Oh, sure.
Seeing objection, we now move into stand if you are for this motion.
Yeah.
So please rise, please stand if you are against. Please stand if you are against this motion. By a vote of 35-3, this motion is passed. We will now move into a period of voting for the resolution. Please stand if you are for this resolution. Please rise if you are against this resolution. By a vote of 31-6, this resolution is passed. I was I see the chairship. Speaker just.
With that, the floor is open for motions. I see Senator Steele.
Senator Steele off campus caucus, I motion to consider the suicide prevention month resolution.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require majority vote, we will start with debate. For this motion, do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, as the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we will now vote on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Will the authors please come to the floor? All right, you have 10 minutes beginning at Howdy.
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 Senator Marco, College of Education and Community Development.
Senator Steele, off to you.
Alrighty, and today we're presenting the Suicide Prevention Month resolution standing with every Aggie and honoring Suicide Prevention Month.
All right, well, whereas 1 September is recognized nationally as Suicide Prevention Month, with September 10th being World Suicide Prevention Day, dedicated to raising awareness and preventing suicide worldwide. And
whereas 2, according to Center of Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, suicide is the leading cause of death among young adults ages 15 to 24, making proactive prevention and awareness efforts critical on college campuses. And
whereas 3, Texas A&M University is home to over 77,000 students whose mental health and well-being are vital to their success in the classroom and in their prospective careers. And
whereas 4, the Aggie core values respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, and selfless service, calls to stand by those who may be struggling and ensure that no Aggie ever feels alone. And
whereas 5, Texas A&M University offers mental health support through counseling resources, the TELUS Health Student Support Act, workshops, group counseling, and the 24/7 Aggie Mental Health Helpline. Still, continued outreach is needed to make sure that every student knows about these resources. And
whereas 6, the Texas A&M University Student Senate cares for all students of Texas A&M University and is the voice of all students. The Student Senate will always be committed to the mental health and well-being of Texas A&M students.
therefore, let it be resolved 1, the Texas A&M University Student Senate formally recognizes September as Suicide Prevention Month and affirms its commitment to supporting the mental health and well-being of every age. And
let it be further resolved, the Student Senate urges the Division of Student Affairs, University Health Services, student leaders, and student organizations to support all programming for Suicide Prevention Month, including awareness events, mental health training, and peer support initiatives. And
let it be further resolved 3, the Student Senate commits to sharing and amplifying available resources for all and any students suffering from mental health abuse. And
let it be resolved 4, a copy of this resolution be sent to Mark Welsh, Bill Gilbert, Carter Mallory, Laura Preston, Sam Chu, Zena Blackwell, Nancy Farrenhold, and Michelle Burton. So, any questions?
With that, they stand open for 5-minute period of question and answer. I see Senator Rubonko.
Senator Blanco Bush School, I motion to add myself, I move to add myself and open sponsorship.
on the
Out of order. Oh, yeah, no, but I'm just saying it's an open sponsorship.
second.
Seeing that motion has been made and seconded, it is debate. Debate will end amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this one? We will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none as the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to opening sponsorship? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Do I see any more questions?
Senator Devine, offered to on campus projects, point of parliamentary inquiry, when can we make amendments?
Oh. Oh, that was out of order base, but it's already been.
So it's too late to do it now.
It's too late.
Late.
You'd
like to make amendments?
We were not supposed to make that amendment.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to make the amendment during the thing.
Oh.
I see.
It's late.
Well, we've already passed it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Clay?
I know we just passed open, almost subscription sponsorship.
Yeah,
I thought that's what we just passed.
yeah.
I think it's technically,
I think you want to offer an amendment to the actual resolution itself.
Yes, but we're still in question and answer.
Are you,
Yeah.
are you offering an amendment or are you just asking if we could
My
adopt?
name is spelled completely wrong.
That's.
I just wanted to fix it out.
That's operational.
That was him.
That's.
That was him.
You got it. Okay, we're still open for question and answer. Do I see any questions? Seeing none, we thank the author for their time. Now moving to debate on this piece, we will begin with the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing as the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we will now move into a period of voting on this piece. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the passage of this piece? Seeing none, this piece does pass. The floor is now open for motions. Do I see any motions?
Yeah, right, finance, a motion to consider bill 78, FCA budget.
Second.
We've got a motion has been made and seconded. It is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Senator Owens?
Senator Oakland, Valley Life Sciences, we're debating the finance budget and open session.
No, sorry, I thought we were gonna open session.
Oh, we
are. No, sorry, I meant to propose for the pass.
It's
People-
to be read.
We're just reading it.
We're reading it.
First read.
You're good.
Okay, we're still in the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we're in the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we are now in the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this? Seeing as the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, we will now vote on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Will the author please come to the floor to do the first reading of that bill? We will have 10 minutes beginning now.
Awesome. Sure, right, finance, howdy.
Howdy.
This is the SGA budget for the fiscal year 2025 and 2026. This is a bill allocating financial resources throughout the Student Government Association. Texas A&M Student Government Association is charged with distribution of 75,000 of student fee money to the committees, commissions, organizations, and branches comprising the Student Government Association. And the Finance Committee received allocation requests from 17 SGA entities totaling $132,850. The Finance Committee conducted many hearings on which each entity requesting funding throughout was scrutinized with detailed explanations of each appropriation request, examination of organizational effectiveness, as well as stewardship for prior grants and funding. So now they're just gonna scroll through, and then each one is of the 17 different organizations that got granted the requests. The 12 can, Aggie Nations, ARC, Alternative Spring Break, Build, Career Closet, Carpool, Fish Aids, Government Leadership Conference, Jacob, LR, Replant, Student Senate, the big events, representation, Tradco. That's it.
All right, our presenter is now open for a 5-minute period question and answer. Do I see any questions? I see Senator Bradley.
You know what?
Senator Steele.
Senator Steele off campus caucus, permission to preface.
Briefly.
Last year, we gave Fish Eggs $8,000 for the custodian banquet. This year, we're giving them 0. Why was that the case?
That's a great question. So we actually have got signed over 60,000 in additional funds for this fiscal year. Hasn't been made an account yet, there's promised funds. That way, because their banquet is in the spring, we're giving them current funding so they can use in the fall. So now we redo reallocations, which we will do, then we can reallocate that 60 grand to these sort of organizations they can use in the spring. Because it's quickly, and if they use it now in the fall, what we approve now is what they can use. So we said, okay, if they're using it in the spring, which they do, we're gonna approve it for winter time.
Thank you.
Senator Von Wilberfield.
Senator Von Wilberfeld on campus caucus. I'm just looking at this. Did we buy Campbell build a crane for $9,000?
So with that, it's more of the transportation, so Bill gets the like cargo boxes kind of that they set up in. And most of their costs are the transportation costs, but the crane to move it on, it's just very costly. And so that was their one ask was the crane, the transportation to move to the designated locations from their job site, which is mostly like the port and Corpus to get to a location. Which is very costly for them to hire the trucks, hire the driver, and then get all the equipment to replace things.
Thank you.
Senator Hargrove.
Yes, Senator Hargrove, College of Education, Community Development. I'm looking at alternative spring break. Could you explain why they're getting by money?
Yes, that's a great question. So right now they're moving forward, I think taking a step away from Student Government Association, and that's kind of why. We awarded that. I know if they were not gonna do that, we would have awarded them with allocated funds, but because we're parting ways, we feel like it's best deserved to promote SGA with the organizations that are staying with us, whether they give them money taken away from the SGA organizations we have now. So,
Just to follow up,
Briefly,
can
yes.
you tell us the amount that they did?
that they did request.
Yes, if they requested permission back for.
Briefly.
$6,000. Thank you.
Senator Steele. Do I see any other questions for the presenter? Seeing none, we thank him for his time. The finance committee will come back at our next meeting. The floor is still open for motions. Do I see any motion? I see.
Am I right or am I?
Great.
Chair Williams, Community Relations. I move to consider, the Charlie Kirk Remembrance Resolution.
Second.
That motion has been made and seconded is debatable. Debatable and debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will start with debate for this motion. Do I see any debates for this motion?
Just got shocked, I'm so sorry, y'all, Jesus Christ. Yes.
First round debate against this motion. Do I see any debate? Being none, we'll now moving to the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Please be quiet. Seeing none. This opinion that shows debate has become one-sided. We will now move into voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to this motion? Seeing none, this motion does pass. Will the authors please come to the floor to present? You have 10 minutes beginning now.
Howdy, Senate.
Hey.
I'm Senator Teets off campus.
Chair Williams, Community Relations.
This is the Charlie Kirk Remembrance Resolution. A resolution honoring the life and legacy of Charlie Kirk.
Whereas for one, Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, visited Texas A&M University on April 22nd, 2025. Conversing with a large and diverse audience of students, faculty, and community members, and
Whereas Charlie Kirk's appearance at Texas A&M sparked widespread student engagement, encouraging students across the political spectrum to think critically, form their own opinions, and engage peacefully engage in civil discourse and
Whereas three, Charlie Kirk's impact on Texas A&M community extended beyond politics as he exemplified the Aggie core values of respect through his voice, readiness to hear the opinions of those who disagree with him, and thoughtful eloquence when elaborating on his point of view in response to opposition, and
whereas Charlie Kirk, along with his love of the song Power, which his friends labeled as their hype song and which is the Fight Inside Society team's theme song as they run out of the tunnel at Cal Field on game days, exemplified many other traits Aggies hold in high regard, and
whereas number five, Charlie Kirk was tragically assassinated at Utah Valley University on September 10th, 2025, for exercising his right to free speech during the American Comeback Tour, a nationwide campus tour aimed at equipping students with the tools to reclaim their right to free speech.
therefore, let it be resolved. The Student Senate formally recognizes Charlie Kirk's legacy, leadership, and impact on civil discourse, Texas A&M University, an entire generation of college students nationwide, and on our nation as a whole. And
Let it be resolved too, the Student Senate thanks Charlie Kirk and his family for the personal sacrifices made in order to equip the next generation of leaders with emboldened free speech, unwavering ethics, and a commitment to prioritize civility, and
let it be further resolved, the Student Senate release the loss of Charlie Kirk, denouncing political violence in all forms, and calling for unity within the student body against such heinous acts.
let it be further resolved for the Student Senate recognizes and thanks student-led organizations such as Turning Point USA, Texas A&M Chapter, Aggie Dems, Political Science Aggies, and many others for leading a prayer vigil, and
Let it be further resolved, the Student Senate continues to send thoughts and prayers to his wife Erica, his children, his family, his friends, and those who look up to him and.
Perfect. We're now open for a 5-minute period question answer. I see Senator Clark.
I have a motion.
State your motion.
Senator Clark off campus caucus, I have a motion to open sponsorship for the entire block.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, as you can hear, the trend of debate has become one-sided, and we will now vote on this motion. Vote to this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the motion? Seeing none, sponsorships will be opened up. We'll get a form from President Patel.
Okay.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
We're still in a period of question and answer. Do I see any questions for the authors? Seeing none, we thank them for their time.
Oh. Oh, no.
Okay, we will now move into debate on this piece, beginning with the first round of debate for this piece. I see Senator Blanco.
I motion to let it be result 3 after denouncing political violence on all forms to add especially on college campuses. Or no, if I did that right.
You motion for it.
Motion to amend.
Move them.
Oh, Senator Ronco Bushpool, I move to amend, let it be further resolved 3 that we add denounce political violence in all forms, especially on college campuses.
Second.
Sorry, I don't hold on.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require majority votes. We will begin with the first round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will move into a period of voting. We will attempt to this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the motion? Seeing none, this amendment does pass. Okay, we're still in the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate? I see Senator Von Wilberfeld.
Senator Von Wilkenfeld on campus caucus, I'd like to make a motion to amend this resolution as well. I would like to say, whereas complete the entire paragraph. But. Whereas for, page 2. That's.
Do I see any seconds?
Second.
Seeing that a motion has been made and seconded, it is debatable and amendable and will require a majority vote. We will begin with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? I see Senator Von Wilkenfeld.
Senator Von Wilkenfeld on campus caucus. Howdy.
Howdy.
I just wanted to explain my thought process really quickly on this one. I will be the first to say I think it's a great resolution. I will be voting in favor of it, whether or not my amendment passes. That being said, I believe that whereas 4 is honestly a little bit unprofessional coming from us. I don't see how it pertains to the bill. The citation that is on here is from Candace Owens. And honestly, I don't think any of this is particularly relevant to the matter at hand. I think this bill is really succinct and saying what it needs to. And I think this is just kind of off topic and irrelevant. I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. I see Chair Williams.
Howdy, Senate. Hi, Chair Williams, Community Relations. I'll keep this brief. I think that we should keep whereas 4 because frankly, I think that this is a resolution going to someone who is incredible, whose family is incredible. I feel like it should actually mean something when it's coming from an A&M standpoint. So yes, it may not be the most professional, but it is personal. And that's why I think that it should stay in there. I think it just, adds a little bit of that Aggie some of that Aggie fun in there ultimately. I don't think we should get rid of it. I mean, I'm open to an amendment. If you want to state that Candace Owen did state that, make that quote, I'm fully okay with that. But striking out the entire paragraph, I just do not agree with because, I mean, again, I do want it to be a little bit personal. I don't want it to be just strictly business. I yield my time to Senator Bradley. Sorry.
You're good. Senator Bradley, College of Engineering. I think we should keep this in here. I think it makes the message more personal, coming from us, our school, that's our song. If that's his favorite song, I think it means something that we can show that we honored that. Also, Let a White Boy Catch a Vibe. That's a great song. So with that, I yield to the floor.
Seeing that the floor has been yielded to, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it's the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided, and we will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to do this via voice vote. All those in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
Okay.
Division.
We will now move to a standing vote led by Pro Tem Tucker. Please keep quiet while we're voting. And two. Please be quiet while we're voting.
This is to take it out.
This is,
To remove.
Yes.
yes, this is the amendment. We're voting to remove the whole paragraph right now. So if you are in favor of removing the entire paragraph, please stand as you are able. All those opposed? By a vote of 6 to 24, this motion does fail.
Debate 4.
We're still in the first round.
Yes.
First round of debate for this piece. Now we're voting on we're debating on the legislation. This is the first round of debate for the piece. Do I see any debate for the piece? I saw some motion. State your motion.
Seven Wells Engineering, I have a motion to include the landfill fest to a section which lists these student ones that are involved. Let it further be resolved for, I have a motion to change that to where Turning Point USA and political science Aggies are recognized as the primary people who organize the event. And then the other org to participate are added as a list afterwards. So, for example, somewhere is thank you to Polls, Aggies, and TPUSA for planning this event, and the other orgs who participated in this.
Do I see a second? Seeing no seconds.
We'll go back to debate.
We're now still in the first round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this piece. Do I see any debate for this piece? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this piece. Do I see any debate against this piece? Seeing none is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this piece. We will do this via a standing vote led by Pro Temp Tucker. All those in favor of passing the Charlie Kirk Remembrance Resolution, please rise and vote. All those opposed? By a vote of 36-0, this piece says passed.
Speaker. I, Chair Horton, rules and regs, move to close open session.
It is. Start with debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we'll now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, it's the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting. We will attempt to do this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the closing of open session? Seeing none, this motion does pass. We will now move into a period of committee reports.
Madam Speaker, I have a motion.
State.
I move to deviate from the agenda to move to the student body president's executive report and then to adjournment.
Second.
Has been made and seconded, is amendable and debatable and will require a majority vote. We'll move into the first round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the first round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate for this motion. Do I see any debate for this motion? Seeing none, we will now move into the second round of debate against this motion. Do I see any debate against this motion? Seeing none is the opinion of the chair that debate has become one-sided. We will now move into a period of voting on this motion. We will attempt to this via general consent. Do I see any objections to the motion?
Madam Speaker, I object. I'm sorry.
I see an objection. We will now do this voting via pro tem Tucker. Please rise if you are for the motion.
This is.
Yes.
Y'all been mad?
This is, yes.
Oh, point of first order.
State your point.
Dinner still off empty copies.
Please be quiet.
If you want the meeting to end quicker, vote yes.
You're literally correct.
Please be quiet while we're voting. Please be quiet while we're voting. All those against? Please be quiet while we're voting. By a vote of 28 to 11, that's SVP Mallory, will you please come?
Senator Hargrove, Health Education, Garland. Senator Williams, was there, or Chair Williams, something you'd like to tell us?
Chair Williams, Community Relations, yeah, just two things really fast. Number one, I don't know if you've already heard, September 30th, not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after. I need y'all all to show up to City Hall, that's where we're having. That's where we're having our big public, hearing, that's where we're gonna talk about the parking, thing, they're trying to, do away with, street parking in the historic district. At night, and they're gonna survey the students who are there, so I need every single student to show up, please. Thank you. Good work, Chair Williams.
Mallory, will you please come forward to deliver?
Yeah, I will. Start my fan right there.
Point of order, right now.
All right, howdy Senate. All right, I appreciate it. Senator Hargrove. As Chair just said, we really need everybody there, for September 30th city council meeting. That'll be hugely helpful. We need numbers, so invite as many people as possible. That's great. Thank you for saying that. In addition, wasn't here when y'all covered ticket poll, but we are already moving on a survey for it. If y'all have recommendations for questions, stuff that y'all specifically want info on, please let me know. That's already moving right now, so just fill me in on that via Allison or via Cole. So with that, in addition, current situation with the letter that we wrote and publicly distributed today, gonna be seeing it on news outlets right now. There's a lot of stuff going on with our university. I appreciate the support from Senate on our move to support Welsh for his character. And that is the point of the statement. So thank you for the debate back and forth on that. That was the point. I'm grateful that that came across well, and that y'all agree with our reasoning behind the statement. So thank y'all.
With that, the SVP is now open for a period of questioning. I see Chair Hurd.
There are, can you update us on the voter?
On the what?
The voter draft?
Yes, Michaela Johnson is working on that right now. We are getting tables, snacks, all that kind of stuff set up for it. We're getting as many people registered as possible to get people registered to vote. So if y'all would like to hop on that as well, please do get registered.
Senator Steele?
Senator Steele, all Kansas caucus, can you attempt to ensure that you sign the Friendly Amendment Act as soon as possible?
I agree.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
Absolutely, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Senator Wallace?
Oh, I saw.
Senator Wallace, on the voter registration drive, we to be registered like a PPP, right?
Yes.
So that's right. When is that requirement due to these?
Senator Hurd.
Point of permission, I'm sure to address the chair. First, there we go, just talk to me after the meeting.
Senator Glover?
Hi, Senator Glover, off campus caucus. Regarding the voter drive, did we get that Red Bull sponsorship?
Uncertain right now. Still working. So sorry.
Senator Smith?
I was just gonna say, I worked with the voting guide last year, and like, if you didn't know this, you have to go to the thing and get it signed. You can't just like pass the quiz and then go out there and register people. Like, you actually have to go to the place in Bryan and get your thing signed off. Because last year we literally had like 2 of us, maybe 3 registering people the whole time, and it was so hard.
Permission
Do read his committee report.
Yes, please.
Do I see any questions for the SVP? Seeing none, we thank him for his time.
Yeah, that's what Robert's motion was, if we were going with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're interested in being a DVR, please talk to me right now. It's really easy. I did it during this meeting.
I know.
Lauren.
Look at this guy.
It's gonna be an all-nighter. Are you doing the traffic? Yeah. Normally I'm like, after, right? I'll get.
I'm kind of used to doing something.
Friday.
I don't know, there was the next one after.